Hello and welcome back to another KCC video. I'm Rob and today we'll be jumping into malicious compliance. Before we start, please hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you know when the next video goes live. Our first story today comes to us from That Tired Potato. You want all the yellow flowers we have? No problem. Let's jump right in. It's that time of year for flower shops, and I recently saw a guest who hasn't been to the shop since the events of this story from a couple years ago. Everything is paraphrased and possibly embellished since this is an older story, and I told it a lot for a good month or so after the fact. I know the dollar amount is about right at least. I was freshly cross-trained onto the sales floor of my flower shop and had just started answering the phones by the registers. Incoming phone calls from guests are set up to go to the phone center lines first, but forward to the floor if no one answers. I was the lucky one to answer a particularly grumpy regular we'll call May. May already had issues with me because I was new, and I had issues with her because I don't let people walk all over me, customer or not. She was also generally a problematic customer. I was just her current target for being new. The phone call goes something like this. Local flower shop, this is Potato speaking. How may I help you? Potato, I need someone else. I'm sorry, no one else is available. A lie, but no one was near a phone. How can I help you, May? I need yellow flowers. What kind of flowers? Just yellow flowers. Are you so slow you don't know what yellow flowers are? Well, we have a large selection of yellow. You know what? Just give me all of them. All of them? Are you deaf? Yes, all of them. And charge it to my card on file so I can just grab them and go. At this point, I wave over the sales manager and switch the call to speaker so he can hear it. Okay, so just clarifying, May, that you want all of the yellow flowers we have in stock and, yes, and charge it to my card. I've wasted enough time talking to you about it. I don't want to wait for my receipt at the counter. I'll be there in 2 hours. I raise an eyebrow at the sales manager. He gives me a bewildered thumbs up and head nod, and I tell her we'll have it ready. Sales manager and I then proceed to pull roses, spray roses, chrysanthemums, snapdragons, literally hundreds of bunches of flowers. We are the biggest florist in the state, and we get the mums in boxes of 24. And never less than 15 boxes a week. So that honestly took up majority of it. The entire time, sales manager is saying how May will never actually take all of this, but he doesn't like people sassing off to his workers, so he was more than willing to play along. He did have the foresight to not charge her card, as when we finished ringing everything up, it came to a whopping $1,000 plus order. Between the two of us and some helping hands here and there, some of the other sales clerks learned what happened. It took a good portion of those 2 hours to get everything together, and sales manager had to leave before we were finished to handle a different matter. May comes in, already glaring at me, and asks where her order is. I smile at her and gesture at the 20 or so buckets of yellow flowers surrounding the pickup area. It honestly looked like a display. We had so many buckets. While she's doing her best imitation of a suffocating fish, I tell her as nicely as possible, I just wanted to check that you wanted this order charged to one card, since $1,000 is a lot of money. You could hear her brain short circuit before she went beet red and said, "This isn't what I meant. Where is sales manager?" I call him over on the radio, and sure enough, as soon as he comes over, he's asking May if we pulled enough yellow flowers, and that we had more coming in early tomorrow morning if she wanted them. She starts stuttering about how this isn't what she ordered, and how incompetent Potato is, etc., until sales manager says, "Potato confirmed with you that you wanted all of the yellow flowers in stock, and these are all of the yellow flowers in stock. If you wanted specific flowers or quantities, you would have to specify those with our sales clerk when placing your order." At this point, she grabs an armful of daisies and some roses and stomps off to the registers. That store got a rather nasty email with me mentioned by name about my incompetency and rude behavior. but sales manager corroborated my side of the story. Cameras showed I at least appeared nothing but friendly the whole interaction, and the number of other incidents regarding this particular guest basically ended with an "if you can't be nice to our workers, don't shop here" responding email. We were scolded for wasting 2 hours when we knew she wouldn't take all of it and there were other things to do, but we did exactly what the customer said, so not much else happened repercussion-wise. So you could say that OP put the pedal to her metal and delivered some thorny revenge. Maybe it stems from some childhood issue where she was stalked by a man in yellow who wouldn't leave her alone. Our second story today comes to us from WrongAd2507. Want me to BS a review to get more business? Have fun losing money? Let's jump right in. Several years have passed since this incident, and the people involved have either forgotten about this or don't lurk around this subreddit. Either way, names have been changed for privacy reasons. Background: I was working as a contractor for a big firm where clients go to for specific services, and then we are assigned to that company on a subcontractor basis. The firm charges the clients an arm, a leg, and a kidney or two while paying us a tiny percentage of the sales. Business is business, and I can't complain about that. When it's time to renew the contract with the client every 3 months, we are supposed to write a review about what's going on and what should be done in the next term. Now for the story. I worked on that project for 2 months, and I had a very good relationship with the employees and their CEO, and everything was peachy until my company wanted the client to pay double for additional services and wanted me to write a bogus review stating that their current situation was absolute crap and they should go for the new and improved plan. Moreover, I was supposed to do it by 7 p.m., 1.5 hours away, and it was my day off. I was in the middle of a trip with friends, and I said, "No can do," and hang up. It was Friday. I didn't check my emails until Monday morning. Guess who woke up to 17 emails from the company and 2 from my client? I checked the client's email first, and the CEO had personally emailed me asking what was going on and why was my company pressuring them to sign a new contract when the old one was still active. I didn't say anything and told him that I'd check it out and get back to him. Not a minute passed before I got a call from the team leader. "Why didn't you write the report on Friday? On my day off? You should be available whenever we want you to do something. What if I was sick or in the hospital? What would you have done then? But you were not, and we expect you to do as we say because you are bound by employee rulebook. As you may know, I'm not one of your employees, but a contractor. We have specific dates and times we work, and you can't just call me on a day off and ask me to work out of the blue. That would be against my contract with your company. By the way, since the client's current contract is still active for a month, the review has to be written after the contract ends, not before. It's even written in the contract you signed off. I don't care about semantics. Write a review by the end of the day. I'm not going to BS the review. You have to do as we say or else you're fired." Malicious compliance time. He said I had to write the BS review, but didn't mention anything about the real review. So I wrote the real review, and under that I wrote, "The review Mr. Blank asked me to write," and wrote the BS review. Send it to the client and CC'd the TL, all the other contractors, the execs, and anyone who had the faintest idea about the project. I wish I was there to see their faces when they received the email. Best part, they tried to fire me, but couldn't due to the terms of the contract. So I had no work, but full pay for 4 months. My PC was locked, so I went to the office every day, brushed up my resume, and started sending emails all day while having free coffee and tea. The client I was working for hired me the next week as a freelance consultant, so I was getting double the income, though for 4 months, and stopped going to the company altogether. The CEO was a powerful guy, and he immediately sent an email to all the businesses he knew, and no one renewed their contract. resulting in a net loss of a couple million a year per company. I heard 1 or 2 companies took them to court for falsifying reports, but not sure what happened to them. Don't you love how people in powerful positions always chalk up logical rules they don't understand as semantics to sound smarter than they actually are? This story was just great evidence that the contractor designation needs to be vastly better defined and regulated. Too many companies out there are doing stuff like this. At the very least, know your contract inside out so you might just be able to throw it right back at them. Our last story today comes to us from WFry84. Need me to adhere to the dress code right now? Enjoy the fallout. Let's jump right in. I was reminded of this story from my work by one of my coworkers. It's been maybe 5 to 7 years since this happened. Where I work, there is a semi-strict dress code that needs to be adhered to, so we look presentable when going to customers' houses. The minor details are more or less negotiable, depending on who's our manager that day. We have a normal manager we see almost daily, but if he's off or it's a weekend, someone else subs in. The day this happened was a Saturday, and our regular manager was off, so the duty manager for the day happened to be Mr. Hardass, whom no one liked, and he made it his life goal to make all the techs miserable. When we walked in the door, we had to pass through the manager's office to get to our meeting area. My coworker Tim, name changed, walked in the door that was to the manager's office with everything looking right on his uniform, but his shirt untucked. The following conversation took place. "Your shirt should be tucked in." "Absolutely. And I will do that when I set my gear down and go to the bathroom." "No, you need to show up for work ready to work, not show up and get ready on my time." "Okay, let me set my stuff down and I'll go right to the bathroom and tuck it in for you." "No, you're going to tuck it in right now before you walk another step into my building." "Right now?" "Right now." So my coworker did as instructed, unbuttoned his pants and pulled them all the way down to his ankles, and proceeded to smooth out his shirt and then reach all the way down and pull his pants all the way back up and rebutton them. From there, he immediately walked outside and called the HR hotline and told them his manager on duty just forced him to undo his pants and semi-strip in front of him in his personal office and wouldn't allow him to go to the bathroom to tuck his shirt in. That he felt weird and uncomfortable to be around Mr. Hardass and didn't know if he had any ulterior motives. None of us are privy to what exactly happened from that phone call on, but we do know that he got laterally moved from being a tech manager to the safety team, where he was no longer in charge of any subordinates. It sounds to me like this guy knew exactly how the system worked, reporting this incident immediately after the fact. Don't you wish you got to see the look on Mr. Hardass's face when he got the notification that he had a meeting with HR? Thank you to all 3 OPs for posting their stories in the Malicious Compliance subreddit. They are linked in the description below. Please go check them out. Check out one of these other videos, and if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button for more daily Reddit stories.